What if I told you that women can detect weakness in a man before he utters a syllable? It's not something you display openly. It's in your stance, your voice, the way you navigate life. Most men remain unaware of these cues, but women notice them immediately. This isn't mere intuition, it's biology. Evolution programmed women to seek strength. Not raw physical power, but emotional resilience, leadership, and self-assurance. When a man lacks these traits, it's like a silent siren blaring in her subconscious. But here's the truth. Weakness isn't what you assume. It's not about failing or stumbling. Those are part of progress. Real weakness lies in your refusal to face hardship, your hunger for approval, and your failure to govern your emotions. As Stoics, we understand true strength is internal. It's not about outward bravado, but mastering your mind, choices, and reactions. Today, we're dissecting 7 ways women perceive weakness, often without you noticing. Identify these habits, erase them, and observe how others react differently to your presence. 1. You crave constant validation. One of the clearest signs of weakness is a man's need for praise. Women detect when your confidence hinges on their attention or approval, and nothing repels them faster. Psychologists term this an external locus of control, where your self-worth depends on others' judgments rather than your core values. Men who seek endless validation are hollow, waiting for others to fill them. This creates a cycle where you're always performing, always needing to prove yourself. How does this manifest? You fish for compliments. Did I do well? You alter your views to match hers to dodge conflict. You obsess over texts or social media likes. Epictetus said, "Seek not goodness in external things. Seek it within." Stop chasing approval. Instead, define your own metrics. Ask, did I live by my principles today? Did I act with courage and integrity? If yes, you need no applause. Women gravitate toward men who are self-assured, who don't beg for reassurance because they know their worth. By validating yourself, you exude strength silently. 2. You evade conflict entirely. Weak men dread confrontation. They confuse compliance with charm, believing constant agreement makes them appealing. But women see through this, and respect evaporates. Psychology calls this submissive communication, suppressing your needs to maintain peace. Over time, this breeds resentment in you and in others who sense your spinelessness. How does this appear? You nod along to opinions you reject. You over-apologize, even when faultless. You retreat the moment you're challenged. Marcus Aurelius warned, the aim of life isn't to side with the majority, but to avoid joining the mad. Stoicism isn't shunning conflict. It's facing it wisely and calmly when needed. Practice assertiveness. Voice your views clearly without aggression. Women admire men who hold their ground with poise. Strength isn't dominance. It's knowing when to speak and when to stay silent, free from fear. 3. You're ruled by emotions. A man enslaved by his feelings is adrift. Women sense emotional instability, outbursts of rage, jealousy, or neediness. These reactions scream weakness, revealing a lack of self-control. Volatility stems from poor awareness and weak coping skills. Instead of processing emotions, you react impulsively, driven by fear or pride. How does this surface? You lash out when criticized. You overreact to minor setbacks. Jealousy flares when she speaks to others. Seneca advised, "We suffer more in imagination than reality." Emotional mastery starts by recognizing feelings aren't facts, they're fleeting reactions. Practice mindfulness. When anger or insecurity rises, pause, breathe, Observe without acting. Over time, this builds composure, a trait women find magnetic. A man who stays calm in chaos radiates strength beyond muscles. 4. You talk more than you act. A lion needn't announce it's a lion, yet men often boast about dreams, plans, and skills without proof. Women spot this instantly. They hear grand promises and someday plans and recognize hot air. Why is this weak? Talk without action is insecurity in disguise. It's seeking validation through words, not results. A man who talks but doesn't act doubts himself. He's trying to convince others and himself he's capable. Psychologists call this impression management, crafting how others see you. But irony, the more you talk, the less impressive you become. Words are cheap. Action is rare. Women respect men who deliver quietly. When a man brags about future success, she knows he lacks discipline. He's a dreamer, not a doer. Signs you're guilty. You tout goals but never take steps. You inflate achievements to impress. You break promises routinely. A man who talks too much becomes predictable. Women are drawn to the opposite, those who move silently, surprising with results. 5. You blame others for your problems. A man who dodges accountability might as well wear a "I'm weak" sign. Nothing repels women faster than a victim mentality, always faulting the world for your failures. This stems from a fragile ego that can't handle truth. Blaming shields you from admitting your problems are self-made. But here's the catch. By refusing responsibility, you surrender power to change. Women know this. A man who blames others won't grow. He'll wallow, never facing challenges. This signals weakness, no resilience, no maturity. How does this look daily? You rant about your boss but don't improve. You blame exes for failed relationships. You credit bad luck, not your choices. Women admire men who own mistakes. Accountability signals strength, the courage to face adversity and grow. A man who won't take responsibility stays stuck and unattractive. 6. You can't say no. A man without boundaries is obvious to women. At first, they may like your agreeableness, but soon it signals no self-respect. Saying yes to everything isn't kindness. It's spinelessness. You become a people pleaser, bending for approval. Harsh truth? No one respects those who can't say no. This stems from fear of rejection, disappointment, or conflict. But constant compliance backfires. The more you say yes, the more others expect it. You lose control of your life, becoming passive. How does this show? You attend events when exhausted. You let others drain your time. You avoid no to seem polite. Women respect men with clear boundaries. Saying no when needed signals confidence. Without it, you seem weak and manipulable, a surefire attraction killer. 7. You lack purpose. The deepest weakness? A man drifting without direction. Women are drawn to men with purpose, a mission, passion, or drive. A man without purpose fades into the background, just another wanderer. Purpose isn't fame or wealth. It's a reason to rise each day, a goal or guiding principle. Without it, life feels hollow, filled with distractions and empty pursuits. A purposeless man often mindlessly scrolls or binge watches, drifts between jobs aimlessly, chases fleeting pleasures over growth. Women sense this. It screams stagnation, a refusal to strive. But with purpose, everything changes. Your energy attracts. You speak with conviction. You don't seek validation. Fulfillment comes from within. Attraction isn't just looks, it's life force. Purpose fuels that force. Without it, you're forgettable. With it, you're unforgettable. There you have it. 7 ways women spot weakness, often before you do. But remember, this isn't about obsessing over others' opinions. It's about self-mastery. Stoicism teaches true strength starts within. When you master emotions, act with confidence, and live with purpose, you radiate power without a word. Women notice, people respect it, and most importantly, you respect yourself. If this resonated, like, comment, and subscribe to Stoic Guide. We're here to help you live with wisdom, strength, and purpose. Stay grounded, stay disciplined. See you next time.